Hello and warm welcome to all of you. Dear students, today I am here with the first part of economics chapter number 2, people as a resource. Dear students, in this chapter we are going to discuss importance of human resources. I would like to urge all of you, whenever you are watching the videos, you have to keep your textbook with you. Now, the chapter People as a Resource is an effort to explain population as an asset for the economy rather than a liability. In general context, we are discussing that India with higher population due to the large population, India is suffering from many problems. Is this true, dear? My question is to you that large population is an asset for the country or liability? Population become human capital when there is investment made in form of education, training and medical care. Large population become human capital, human resources when there is investment made in the form of education. People are getting the benefits of education system, they are getting the benefits of training. Even the large population, they all are getting medical facilities. In fact, human capital is a stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. So, healthy and educated people as an asset for the country, uneducated and unhealthy people, they become liability, responsibility for the country. People as a resource is a way of referring to countries' working people in terms of their existing productive skill and abilities. When we are considering population as an asset, so we have to keep in mind about the working people in terms of their productive skill and abilities. Because of their skill and abilities, they are able to produce more. They are able to contribute more in development of society, in development of country. Looking at the population from this productive aspect emphasize its ability to contribute to creation of gross national product. Like other resources, population also is a resource, a human resource. This is the positive side of large population that is often overlooked when we look only at the negative side. These large population, due to their abilities, due to their skills, due to their education, they are able to contribute more in gross national product. So that's why large population become human resource. When we are talking about the large population, we all are thinking about the negative aspect of large population. But you just imagine when these large population they are getting facilities of education, facilities of healthcare. So these population, educated and healthy population, they are able to contribute more into the development of the country. So educated and healthy people, they are the positive aspect of large population. We look only at the negative side, considering only the problem of providing the population with food, education and access to health facilities. When the existing human resource is further developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it human capital formation that add to the productive power of the country, just like the physical capital formation. When we are talking about large population, we all are thinking its negative aspect, because we are thinking that large population, so it's the responsibility that to provide them with food, education and health facilities. But you think when these people, large population, they are able to get education facilities, health facilities, they are able to contribute more into the development of the country. Here, investment in human in the form of education and health, it gives lots of benefit to the country. Because of investment in human capital, it adds to productive power of the country, just like the physical capital formation. For example, as a businessman, you are investing your money for business by combining all the factors of production. At the end of the production, you aim to earn profits. So, by investing in physical capital, you are able to get the benefits in the form of profit. Same thing is here. When we are investing in the form of education and health for the population, so in return, we are getting the benefits of educated and healthy people, and these people are able to contribute more in development of the country. Investment in human capital through education, training, medical care yield a return just like investment in physical capital. As I explained you, investment in human capital by providing them education facilities, by providing them proper training, by providing them proper health facilities, it produces a great return just like investment in physical capital. This can be seen directly in form of higher incomes earned because of higher productivity of the more educated or more better trained person, as well as the higher productivity of healthier people. We can see the benefit of educated people, they are able to earn more. We can see the benefit of trained person, they are able to produce more. we can see the benefit of healthy people. They are able to contribute more, they are able to produce more in comparison to unhealthy people. So investment in human capital return in large number. Here I would like to give you an example of green revolution. In chapter number 1 we already discussed about that. Due to the green revolution, India is able to produce sufficient grain for the consumption of the country. Now, what is green revolution? Actually, green revolution is a dramatic example of how the input of greater knowledge in the form of improved production technologies can rapidly increase the productivity of scarce land resources. We have limited land resources, but because of green revolution, we are able to produce sufficient grain for the consumption of our country. At the time of independence, India were importing food grains from other countries. But nowadays, due to the benefits, due to the knowledge of green revolution, we are able to produce sufficient grain for our country. Not only do the more educated and healthier people gain through higher income, society also gain in other indirect ways because of the advantages of more educated or healthier population spread to those also who themselves were not directly educated or given health care. Here, more educated and more healthier people, they are only not getting the benefits of education and health, but due to educated and healthier people, society also getting some benefits. Because of the education and health, other unhealthy and uneducated people of the society, they are also getting benefits. When we are talking about a family of 10 members, in this 10-member family, generally 1 or 2 people are earning and rest of the people are dependent. So if these 1 or 2%, they are educated, they are healthy one, so they are able to earn more. And other members of the family, they are also getting the benefits of greater productivity of these working people. In fact, human capital is one way superior to other resources like land and physical capital. Human resources can make use of land and capital. Land and capital cannot become useful on its own. In the previous chapter, we discussed that the importance of human resources, importance of human capital. Human resource is very important because it can make use the other resources. Other resources like land and capital cannot become useful on its own, but it is the knowledge, it is the skill, it is the abilities of human which can take the advantage of other resources. So human resources are very important. It makes other resources very useful. Without human resources, other resources are not useful. For many decades in India, large population has been considered a liability rather than an asset. But a large population need not to be a liability. It can be turned into productive assets by investment in human capital. For many decades, even nowadays some people are thinking that why India is less developed because of the large population. But it is not true. If we invest for this large population through education and health facilities, training of industrial and agriculture worker, how to use modern technology, even we can provide them scientific resources benefits. So by all this way, we are able to get more production. Many people still thinking that due to the large population, India is not in position to develop more. But we have to provide education facilities, health facilities, training facilities to these uneducated, unhealthy, untrained people, and then after we are able to get more productivity from these unhealthy and uneducated people. So here I would like to conclude my today's lecture. We will meet very soon with the second part of the same chapter. Thank you very much for your cooperation.